You're such an asshole.
So the internet might poop out on this one too. It has already given me guff. Anonymous writes, "Oh, Captain, my Captain. Personally, I prefer when someone isn't writing in and whining, and you get to do an original. I'd like to go ahead and pay for 2 to 3 Cappy original videos, so you are taken back to your roots a bit. I know I'm cruel, haha. Thanks for all the hard work. Yes, you are right. This is not real work and wisdom you're passing on." And so yeah, if you want to pay for originals, I prefer to do them. I get to talk about what I want. So I wanted to start this series called "What Is," and we take all these Orwellian, Marxist, nightmarish words used currently in the dating market, courtship market, intersexual dynamic market. Because I don't I know why. Someone explained it to me once that tyrants and oppressors or ne'er-do-well people who have ulterior aims will try to manipulate the language for some kind of plausible deniable. Well, I don't know. And so I'm honestly confused with some of these words that the girls are coming up with. And one of them was emotional labor. So let's look up emotional labor. The first one I looked up was emotionally unavailable. So emotional labor, Wikipedia entry. There's a Wikipedia entry, halfway legitimate concept. This Orwellian BS words, these phrases that aren't legitimate. Okay, it's already got a Wikipedia. Oh my God. It's got a lengthy Wikipedia entry. Oh my God. There are 47 references and almost as many further readings. Oh, you academics have way too much time on your hands. Oh my God. Emotional labor is the process of managing feelings and expressions to fulfill the emotional requirements of a job. More specifically, workers are expected to regulate their emotions during interactions with customers. Oh, okay. All right. This is an actual labor economics concept. All right, that I would okay. So this is a realm of economics. That's what I'm not what I'm looking for. See what happens when you pervert the language. You see what happens when you intellectually dishonestly abuse the language. There's like an actual literal use of the word. Like, no, that's labor economics. It falls in this legit study. Oh. Harper's Bazaar. Workplace emotional labor and diversity. How to get your partner to take on more emotional labor. New York Times. Okay. Oh, and of course, your girl is just so impressed. Just so impressed. The term emotional labor refers to the invisible and often undervalued work involved in keeping other people comfortable and happy. Coined by Arlie Russell Hochschild, a sociologist and professor emerita at the University of California, Berkeley, the term was originally used to describe the work of managing personal feelings in a professional context, particularly in public-facing jobs where employees work to produce a particular. All right, this is economics again. Hang on. Compelled to do to keep by others to keep them happy, emotionally suppressed, but okay, you're carrying on emotional labor, creep, defense management, life management, unpaid invisible work. Okay, maybe I got men, women. Maybe I just got a relationship. There we go. All right. 4 signs you're carrying the emotional labor in relationships. Being in any type of relationship involves some level of emotional commitment, which can at times feel draining. But if you carry a disproportionately large load of the emotional labor in relationships, that level of drain is likely high and potentially unsustainable. Or maybe you all get sexy and thin and have sex with each other and stop nagging and do what you say you're going to do and be on time. How's that? Is that simpler? Being able to correct the situation of carrying the emotional labor in relationships first requires you to know that it's happening in the first place. Thank you for the pop-up ad. No, I don't want to subscribe to Well Plus Good. With that in mind, it's important to understand what exactly emotional labor even is, and then being able to spot signs that you may be experiencing it yourself. The hope then is that you and your partner, friend, or family member can take steps to equalize the dynamic because that guy just isn't doing enough. Because bearing the brunt of the emotional labor in a relationship can be exhausting and potentially let me introduce libertarian, not even libertarian, just a common sense human rights concept of volunteerism. You both voluntarily want to be there. You're both happy to be there because you put the effort into being what that person wants, and that person put the effort into being what you wanted. And it is a joy, and you'd rather be with no one else. If there's labor, no. I gotta make them happy. Well, I don't know. Here's another thing. Not to sound so simple. I mean, what was it? Matt Walsh, I think, said all husbands want is to come home, have the kids give them a hug, and the wife give them a kiss on the cheek, and how was your day, dear, and have food ready. That's it. That's not a lot of labor. There's not a lot of emotional labor there. Usually you've done something to piss off the other person. You've gotten fat. You've gotten lazy. You're not working hard. You're mailing it in. And the other person's like, I'm going to get rid of this person. I'm not happy. Like, then you worry about it. I got an idea. Why not everybody do their best? Voluntaristically show up. And if you're not happy, then leave. It just sounds like you're made up work, unnecessary work. Your partner's going to equalize the dynamic. Nope, someone's not carrying their weight. Usually the one who's putting way more emotional labor into it. Because bearing the brunt of the emotional labor in a relationship can be exhausting and potentially put the health of the relationship in question, in jeopardy. Well, it's already in jeopardy. What is emotional labor? Oh, we're quoting this Arlie Hochschild again. PhD sociologist, coined the term 1983 book, The Managed Heart, Commercialization of Human Feeling, and has since continued to study emotional labor in a range of situations. She first used the phrase to talk about how people need to manage their emotions on the job, but it's eventually grown and expanded to focus more on personal relationships. That said, emotional labor is not easily defined because it's not a thing, said therapist Leslie Deoris, LMFT, author of Blueprint for a Lasting Marriage. Let's see how well that's selling. Ooh, PhD, and you got 10 ratings, sweetheart. I'm going to write a book. Stop being a fat, whining nag. Lose the weight, you fat fuck. Get your finances under control. Say no. Oh, man. What is an LMFT? That a thing? It usually refers to the amount of emotional energy expended to keep a relationship going. This can mean managing your own emotions as well as trying to manage your partner's. Try managing other people's emotions. That's great. Making sure everyone is happy. Men are so easy to make. They're so easy to make happy. Let me guess. How much of this is you want to make them happy without doing any of the work? How much is that? Oh, he's looking at other women. Oh, I don't know. Or maybe he just doesn't like you. Like you're just a fling. Has this dawned on you? He's just playing the field. He's not ready to settle down, have some fun. I'm carrying all the emotional labor in this relationship. There's not a relationship. I mean, there's a relationship. It's one of non-committal. It's a frolicky, fun, not serious, not committed one. And maybe you're worrying and I'm doing all the emotional. Like, no, you're wanting something you're not going to get because he doesn't want the same thing. If we all agreed up front, like, hey, look, this is just a fling. This is just fun. I'll change him. There's your emotional labor. It can also include taking on tasks such as being the one to reach out after an argument, initiating physical contact, planning dates, or following up on a partner's important work event. Oh, people who take on the bulk of responsibility of emotional labor in relationships may also try to mute their own emotions so they don't weigh down the other person in the relationship, says licensed psychologist Ramani Durvasula, PhD, author of Should I Stay or Should I Go? Does this one have any sales? Oh, 2,200 rate. Okay, that's legit. That's legit. Meaning if you carry the emotional labor in relationships, you may try to hide the fact that you're upset about something because you feel like it could be a burden on your partner or a friend. It can also be the holding of the emotional load in a relationship, serving as sort of a therapist to a partner, providing reassurance. Never has it been so hard to make a chocolate ice cream sundae. Never has it been so hard. 4 signs you're carrying the emotional labor in your relationship. 1, you feel resentful and frustrated. These emotions, Dr. Durvasula says, are sure signs that you believe something is out of whack and include things like wondering why your partner never does certain things. I gotta write a book. It would never sell. It would never sell. But I just gotta write a book of just some of these, not even man-related red pill truth, but like red pill in terms of like just blunt truths. I'm gonna go off on a limb here. One of them would be, look, if you're fat, if one or both of you are fat, there's your problem. Be sexy, be hot, have sex. The foundation of all relationships, physical attraction. That goes away in either person, it's over. Oh my God, he's not buying me flowers anymore. Oh, he's not that. It's one of two things, generally speaking, when you hear it now more commonly in today's parlance. It's going to be that they want an alpha. The alpha is not committing to them. They're doing all the work and pining and hoping and wanting from one. The guy's just like, no, not me. Or somebody could be the guy too. I'll admit that, but usually not. Has gained weight. And the other person's like, nah. But Lizzo's beautiful, right? So he should want to have sex with a fat, disgusting pig, right? That's social conditioning. So the guy isn't that interested. He's no longer like, did you let your looks go? That'd be the first thing. If a marriage counselor, Cappy, marriage counselor therapy, Cappy, show me your wedding picture. Oh, you're both fat fucks. Both of you lose 50 pounds and then come back to me when you do. That'll be $260. That'd be it. You feel taken advantage of, meaning it can feel like if you don't do something in your relationship, it will never get done. Dr. Durvasula says. 3, you feel like your partner doesn't care as much as they should. Oh man. You are dating Chad or Tyrone. Yes. Yes. He's not you're carrying all the emotional. How much you want to bet this has been said? You're doing all the emotional labor, but he's emotionally unavailable. He doesn't like you in that way. He's just using you for sex. You're emotionally exhausted. You can only bear the emotional labor in a relationship for so long. That's why Doeris says that fatigue and psychological exhaustion are common when you carry the emotional labor. I'm wondering what is more exhausting in terms of calories and anyway, regardless. What would it take if you just stayed physically attractive? Like, would that take more calories of energy at the gym or just like not eating as much? And then you wouldn't have to worry about this stuff? Or maybe in the case of you're pining for Chad and he's not the committee, he's emotionally unavailable. If you just accepted up front the reality of the relationship and did not exhaust yourself emotionally, worrying about something that was never going to happen anyway. How to change the relationship dynamic. Again, bearing the emotional labor in a relationship is exhausting. It's not sustainable. The first thing that needs to happen to change things, Doris says, is to figure out what you're doing and why. Ask yourself whether you're bending over backwards for your partner because you're worried they'll leave, or acting as a therapist of sorts for your friend because you feel like they have no one else they can trust. Get clear about any behavior that is driven by fear, Doris says. Decide what you are willing to take on moving forward without resentment or your partner doing anything differently. Identify and address any feelings about letting go of the rest. If this is happening in your romantic relationship, Dr. Durvasula recommends talking about the status quo and why it's not working. Consider couples therapy, which never works unless it's Cappy's couple therapy. Lose weight, $260. See you in 50 pounds. I'll never see any of my clients again because they'll never lose the 50 pounds. Both Both would have to lose the 50 pounds. Couples therapy as a place to do this, she says. But talk about it. And if your partner cannot manage to do that, then you have bigger issues afoot. It's also important that you work through your own emotions, Dr. Durvasula says, given that you've probably been pushing them down in order to emotionally care for someone else. That could mean talking to a trusted friend or even going to individual therapy. Not sharing your feelings about caring. This undue burden can be draining on a relationship, Dr. Durvasula says. Sometimes people are afraid to talk about it for fear of relationship ending. Yeah, because you're like, now there could be legitimate instances of this. I'm not saying that's not the case. The majority of instances is going to be the girl who's going to say, I have to tell you the truth. I've been pining for you, Carrie. We should be getting married. I'm not where I want us to be. And admitting the guy said, like, yeah, but no, I don't want to get married. And that's the end of the relationship. That's like 80% of the cases right here. Or somebody got physically unattractive. They're not going to hit the gym, and doing the emotional labor is less taxing in their mind than doing the physical labor of staying physically attractive. And they're worried the person's going to leave. They tend to do that once the other one becomes an ugly pig. Yes, that happens. Or at least they're not as excited or invested. I never understood that. Where, like, really, is that really a great philosophical observation on my part? Did I really dig deep into some psychological, archaeological dig to say, hey, did you know physical attraction is the founding principle of all relationships? Sexual romantic ones anyway. And if you take that away, the infrastructure, the foundation is gone and it won't work. Like, is that edgy? Is that really insightful? Or is that just common freaking sense? And yeah, too many pussies in America like, oh, I can't say it. I can't say it. The guy could be carrying the emotional labor. I don't want to leave my wife. She got fat. Or due to longstanding parents of carrying emotional labor starting in their family of origin. If your partner is receptive about making change, Doeris recommends having a healthy dialogue about what is and isn't working. Talk to your partner about what they think is important to keep the relationship happy, she says. Oh, so we can go to our opposite. We can go to our partner, right? Say, you gain too much weight and you're fat and I don't want to have sex with you anymore. Can we do that? Is that okay? Would that be okay if the guy was telling that? No, the ladies could tell the guys that. But is that... talk about what you think is important to keep the relationship healthy. So you're going to go up to the guy who maybe even told you this is just a fling. It's not serious. Like, to keep this relationship healthy, I'm sick and tired of carrying on the labor of commitment. Like, I never committed. Or the guy just stops calling. I think it would do everyone I'm being serious about this. It would do everyone a great service to, like, here's the rules. Vince LaRosa over at Masculine Geek, some of them are great for foundational beginners. I'm not getting married. I'm not having kids. You're not living with me. You're not leaving any of your stuff here. And this is just a fling, or this is the most you could achieve is main plate. Or girls are like, I'm not dating, and some gals are brave enough to do this on the date. I am only looking for marriage. If you're not serious, looking for commitment, please do not. Okay, good, but that's the rare. You girl, oh, you're all gonna change, T-Rash. You're all gonna change Chad and Esteban. You'll make him see the error of his ways. Talk to your partner what they think is important to do to keep the relationship healthy. Yeah, that will end most modern day relationships because no one's gonna know. Like, whoa, what? No, nope. The truth is, they will not see things the same way you do. Some things may be more important to them, others to you. Ultimately, though, sharing what you need and want and making requests for specific actions on their part is a way to change things. Doera says, you are your own best advocate, so identifying what your needs are and speaking up about them can help ensure you don't carry more than your share of the emotional labor in relationship. Good, then right off the bat, I want to get married. And I plan on getting the second I'm going to stay hot for now, okay? But when I get married, boy, That wedding cake is just the first bite of a long and glorious and carb-filled journey where I'm going to just let myself go. Be honest about it, ladies. Be absolutely honest about that. And then the guys can aggravate. Then there's no emotional labor or deficit or gap. Everything's a gap. Guys, same thing. Don't drag her out. Like, look, I'm not doing that. Okay, not marriage. No, that's it. Then if you ask us where we are, what are we, it's over. And you're very clear. And then if the girl's like, well, you should be kind enough not to string her along. Oh, yeah, maybe, baby. It's like, nope, I said, I'm honest to God, I'm not kidding. To help save everybody emotional labor, which just sounds like confusion or pining for stuff that was never going to happen anyway. Film the conversation. Have it like on multiple thumb drives, but play it on repeat on your television screen as the screensaver, so that it's reminded what was agreed upon before. Emotional labor masterclass to please the partner. How to get your partner to take on more emotional labor. Was this the New York Times? Oh yeah. Seek outside support, understanding dynamic, problem, general academic pablum. Maybe I'm too idealistic, maybe I'm too simple, but there shouldn't be any emotional labor. It should be both you. Hey, let's do it. All right, let's go. I don't really. I thought we agreed we were going to go to point X. You don't want to go to point X. Oh, you changed. Now you want to go to point Y. You're worried. Oh, wow. Really? You're worried that if you change the entire fundamental foundation of this relationship from the goal of X to the goal of Y, I might leave. It's like changing a job description. All right, there you go. All right, we got any super chats? Let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. Emotional damage. Hat and Clogs, $2. It's where we give Cappy money. First world problems. Hat and Clogs again for $5. Cap, I was told that EQ has validation is on equal level of IQ. That's no, it's not. This is one of those things where academia is going to go and create the thing. And look, our self-reviewed peer studies, even though all the social sciences have like this incredible validity problem, it says it's legit. No, it's not. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. If you want, go look up Myers-Briggs and astrology. That's EQ. This guy has a higher IQ than me, but plugged it words with letters UWU. I don't know, Hat. I don't. It just came. So predictable. Oh, I know you're a moron, but there's this thing called emotional intelligence, and it's just like you just don't understand because you're not mature like me. No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Hat and Clogs, $5. Man, what'd you find your wallet? What's going on, Hat? Are you all right? Almost forgot. Did you hear about the guy being sued for alimony when they were never married and were only dating? Was this the Canadian guy? Which guy? Well, wait a minute. That's several. That's there's an MMA fighter, I think a boxer, but I don't know if one's going. I know one of them is going for alimony. They're ex-girlfriends. The boxer, maybe not. There's Tiger Woods, and then there was the Canadian guy, but the Canadian guy told her that not to work and he'd take care of her. So I could see a legal line there. But yeah, it's which example were you talking about? Frankenfoot, $2. What was their doctorate in again? No, psychology or something like EQ. The psychology profession where they can only repeat the results of psychological experiments 1/3 of the time. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we have more drug prescriptions than ever before as a percentage of the population. We have more therapist hours logged into as a percentage. More people visit therapists is what I'm saying. And yet our mental health is getting worse. Psychologists are as good as economists in the government are right now. What is it, 30 trillion in debt? I couldn't care. They don't know what they're doing. And even if they did know what they're doing, they're not doing it right. Because if psychology was an authentic science and they could actually solve people's problems, mental health would be improving, not worsening. All right, there you guys go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later, Toodles.